Okay, looks great. Now next part, since we have the first table, now we also need to create the other two tables. For the other two tables, let me see. Like the next one will be TBL store, and also we're gonna insert the TBL supplier. Okay, so this one again, we want to create this table for TBL store, right? This is my comments. Again, if you want to create a table, you can just still using the code as TBL, table, create table, and we want to name it as TBL store. And we can create this TBL store. Again, use parentheses and insert all the required variables. Again, I hate typos, so what I can do is I'm gonna copy this part. You see it? It's copy. The names here and the paste it here. Okay, so for the first one, okay, it should be pad. Uh, pad store ID. For this one, it's integer, right? Because ID is integer. And we also, okay, um, so it's integer. And we also need to constrain it as a primary key. So constrain it as primary key PK, and this one is store past store, right? So we can use store, and also we need to use okay, so create the table with all these variables. This one hasn't complete. We need to make some changes from them. For the store ID, because we want to save it in the store, because we want to save it in the store table. So we're gonna use store ID and this one. So the first values is ID, so it should be integer. And also this store ID is actually our primary key, right? Constraint, make sure it's blue. If it's not blue, so it should be some Apple issues. And it is PK, our primary key of the store. And it is primary key, ARY, okay. Then we use comma. The next one, store name. So we use store underscore store name. For this one, definitely the name could be multiple category, right? It could be text, so we can use Vaka. Make it this one. We can use Vaka AR 25. And that's it. We use appearances, the comma. The next one will be address. Address is a text. So this one also should have like multiple character. So we can save it as store underscore address. And again, Vaka 25. Next one, store underscore city. And Waka, still they are like multiple category, multiple category. So you can use Waka 25. Next one, store state. Is a state. How many categories? Two, right? So we can use car, say it's AR2. They are all set. Seems I missed several commas, so you can use comma here, comma here. This one, it seems I don't need the comma. Let's double check it. It should be create. And we have the primary key, we have the store, Vaka, 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 and it seems Great to me. And then let's create them on, okay, so again, I use a go, add a go with this code to separate them, and we click execute. Okay, it seems we have the TBL store now. Let's check if we have the stocks, the tables here now. It seems we still only has the path table, right? So you can click this button, refresh. See, we have the TBL store table now, but we only have table. We haven't insert the value now, right? So next part, we want to insert the value to the store table. So now we want to use insert like what we did before. And we want to insert into which the table is TBL store. Okay. And we're gonna start with like which variable we're gonna use to insert the value, right? Again, I don't want to type. I don't like type. What I usually did, I just copy it and make some changes. So I delete the unnecessary data type, just in keeping the variables we plan to insert the value. And we separate them and comparisons. You can make them in one row. You don't have to like separate them into different row. I just tired to like delete the space, but you can do that if you want. So now and values. For the values, we're gonna go ahead to go back to this part. These are the values we want to insert to the store table, right? What you can do is copy and paste it back here, or you can just type it. Again, I don't want to type. So what I usually did, I just copy and paste and make some changes. And like here's, right? And nor we need to make some changes. For one, we don't need to do that. For this one, comparisons, and comparisons, this one seems like, well, we insert the first value, the first variables values. The first one will be one, which is store IDs. Since it is the number, we don't need to use the quotation, but for the store name, definitely we need the quotation. So you can use a quotation and use comma, because we have for each value, we have to separate them in with comma. The next part will be address. For this one, we're gonna start with address fab W, and then this is the address. We use comma again, put quotation here, comma, and the quote here. This one, since the last one, we don't need to use comma anymore. And this one, same things. You use the pet superstore. This is the name of the second values. And this is the address of there. I missed one commas here. It should be comma to separate each different values. Avenue and use quote, comma, quote, quote, comma, quote, quote. Okay, simply or from DA. Okay, nor it looks great to me. I can use a semicolon to finish it and use go to separate the code. And let's see if we have errors or not. Oh, great. See, we have two rows affected. And let's check how it looks like. Select uh, store from TBL store. This is the new table we just created. Go and we want to highlight them that execute. Okay, looks great to me, right? Okay, so it's 1, 2, the name, address, city, and DA. It looks great to me. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so now we have two tables and we insert the values to these two tables already. The next part, we need to create the third tables. For the third table, since it's quite similar with what we did before, right? So if you want to create a table, you can just using create table function. And now we want to create a table, which is the TBL suppliers, because it's suppliers. And we design different variables and define different variables, some of them as primary key, and specify their um, data type. So in case to save some time, some of your time to read it, I just use the data I have, the code I have here already. I just call. Okay, since this code are quite similar with what we have, I just copied the code that we used before and paste it here to let you to view it clearly. For this one, we still has like before we create a table with TBL supplier, and we have several different variables and supplier names definitely our primary key. So the supplier name has multiple characters, so we use wildcard 25, constrain it as primary key. And also we create the address, city, and state. They have like multiple character instead of this state. State has two characters, so we can use card two. And use comma go, we are able to create a table with this code. And now we need to insert the values, same with what we did before. And we still, like what I did before, I always copy the like alt the table. You can do it if you want. And this one still we want to insert this one means let me make some quotation comments here. So insert values to TBL suppliers table. Right, okay. So now we insert into the TP suppliers. Suppliers include four different variables. For different four variables, we have the values, like from Smith, Jules, Johnson, and Lee. Once we are here, we click those, we highlight them all, and it doesn't matter if you highlight these comments or not, because the comments won't be run as code. So we click, it seems like we have four rows affected. Now we can double check our table again. ECT star from TBL supplier. This is a new table we just made. We also insert value already, so we don't need to do it anymore. And then you click it. Okay, you were able to see the table.